first time it happened, I thought it was a mistake. By the third night, I knew it wasn't. Every night at exactly 3:17 a.m., someone knocked on my door. Not pounded, not scratched, knocked. 3 slow hits. I live alone in a small one-bedroom apartment on the second floor of an old building. The place isn't special. Thin walls, old pipes that clank in the winter. A hallway light that flickers even after the landlord fixes it. I work late shifts at a printing warehouse, so I usually get home around 1:30 in the morning. By 2 a.m., I'm showered and in bed. The first night it happened, I was half asleep. I remember staring at the red glow of my digital clock. 3:16 a.m., I close my eyes. Then, knock. I open them again. Knock, knock. 3 slow, spaced-out taps on my front door. I froze under my blanket. No one visits me that late. No one even knows my schedule that well. I waited for a voice. Maybe someone saying the wrong apartment number. Nothing. Just silence. After a full minute, I forced myself out of bed. The floor felt cold under my feet as I walked to the door. I didn't turn on the lights. I don't know why. Maybe I didn't want whoever was outside to know I was awake. I leaned toward the peephole. The hallway was empty. The overhead light flickered softly. The carpet looked dull and worn. No shadows. No movement. I unlocked the door and opened it fast. The hallway was completely empty. No footsteps running down the stairs. No closing doors. Nothing. I stepped out and checked both ends of the hall. Still nothing. I went back inside and locked the door. I told myself it was just a neighbor messing around. Then I looked at the clock. 3:19 a.m. The second night, I stayed up on purpose. I told myself if it was just someone being stupid, I'd catch them. At 3:15 a.m., I sat on my couch with all the lights off. The only glow came from the microwave clock in the kitchen. 3:16. I held my breath without meaning to. The building was quiet. Too quiet. Even the usual pipe noises had stopped. Then, knock. My chest tightened. Knock, knock. Exactly 3. Exactly like the night before. I jumped up and rushed to the door. This time I didn't wait. I swung it open immediately. Empty hallway. But this time, something felt different. The hallway light wasn't flickering. It was completely off. I knew it had been on earlier. The darkness stretched all the way to the stairwell. I stepped out slowly. "Hello?" I whispered. My voice sounded small. No answer. Then I heard something from downstairs. A soft creak, like someone stepping on the bottom stair. I leaned over the railing and looked down. Pitch black. The stairwell light wasn't on either. "Who's there?" I called. Silence. Then, from somewhere below me, I heard a slow exhale. Not loud. Just enough to know it wasn't my imagination. I went back inside and locked the door. That night, I pushed my couch against it. On the third night, I called in sick to work. I didn't want to come home at 1:30 and be exhausted again. I wanted to be fully awake, fully aware. I set my phone on the kitchen counter and started recording video at 3:10 a.m. If someone knocked again, I'd have proof. 3:16. My mouth felt dry. 3:17. Knock. The sound made my whole body jerk. Knock, knock. 3, slow, controlled. I stared at the door, then at my phone camera. The knocking wasn't loud. It sounded close, closer than before, like the wood itself was being tapped from the inside. I walked toward it carefully. My heart was beating so loud, I thought it might show up on the recording. I looked through the peephole. This time, I saw something. Not a full person, just the edge of something dark, like a shoulder standing too close to the door. I couldn't see a face, just darkness blocking part of the hallway. My hands shook as I unlocked the door and pulled it open. No one there. But the hallway light was back on, and my upstairs neighbor's door across from me was slightly open. I had never seen it open before. I stared at it for a long time. Then it slowly creaked shut on its own. The next morning, I knocked on my neighbor's door. An older woman answered. She looked confused when I asked if she had been up at 3:17 a.m. "I'm asleep by 10, she said, every night." I asked if she'd heard knocking. She shook her head. "No one knocks around here," she said. Then she paused. "You're in 2B, right?" I nodded. Her expression changed slightly. That apartment's had complaints before. "What kind of complaints?" She hesitated. "People saying someone was trying to get in." A cold feeling spread through my stomach. "Did they ever find out who?" She shook her head again. "Tenants just moved out." That night, I didn't wait in the living room. I stood right by the door at 3:16 a.m. I wanted to catch whoever it was in the act. The hallway light was on. Everything looked normal. 3:17. Nothing. 3:18. Still nothing. I almost laughed. Maybe it had stopped. Maybe whoever it was got bored. Then, knock. I jumped back. The sound hadn't come from the door. It came from behind me. 3 slow taps on my bedroom wall. I turned slowly. Knock, knock. The sound came again. From inside my apartment. From the wall that connects to the hallway. I backed away until my shoulders hit the front door. The knocking moved. Slowly. Dragging across the wall toward the living room. Like someone tapping their fingers as they walked. Then it stopped. Right behind my front door. And 3 more knocks hit the wood. From the inside. I ran outside without thinking. Barefoot. No jacket. I stood in the hallway, shaking. My apartment door was closed. Silent. After a minute, I forced myself to go back in. Everything looked normal. Nothing out of place. But the air felt heavier. Like someone had just left the room. I checked every closet. Under the bed. Bathroom. Nothing. Then I noticed something small. 3 faint dents on the inside of my front door, at eye level. I didn't sleep that night, or the next. By the 5th night, I felt like I was losing my mind. I set up a small camera facing the front door. At 3:17 a.m., the knocking came again. From the outside, clear, loud, 3 times. I didn't move. I just watched the camera screen. The door didn't shake. The handle didn't turn. But the sound was there. After a full minute, it stopped. I replayed the footage. You could hear the knocking, clear as day. But the door never moved. And there was no shadow under it. No feet in the hallway. Nothing on the other side. The sound had no source. I went to the landlord the next day. He looked tired when I told him. "You're not the first," he said quietly. My stomach dropped. "What do you mean?" He sighed. 3 tenants in 2B complained about the same thing. Always 3:17 a.m. "Did anyone check the cameras?" I asked. "There aren't any in the hallways," he said. Then he added something that made my chest tighten. "The first tenant said the knocking started after he ignored it." "I've ignored it every night," I whispered. The landlord didn't respond. On the 7th night, I decided not to react. No looking through the peephole, no opening the door, no moving furniture. 3:17 a.m. Knock. I stayed in bed. Knock, knock. My heart raced, but I didn't move. The silence after felt longer than usual. Then I heard something new. The sound of my doorknob turning. Slowly, gently, like someone testing it. I held my breath. The knob stopped. Then a whisper came through the door, so soft I almost missed it. "Why won't you let me in?" My blood ran cold. The voice wasn't angry. It sounded confused, almost hurt. "I've been knocking every night." Tears filled my eyes. The voice was close, right against the wood. "Please." I squeezed my eyes shut. "Just open the door." The doorknob twisted harder this time, but I had locked it. The rattling stopped suddenly. Silence filled the apartment. Then 3 knocks came again, from my bedroom wall, right next to my head. I moved out the next morning. Didn't even finish packing everything. I left some furniture behind. I didn't care. I just wanted out. For 2 nights at my new place, nothing happened. I almost convinced myself it was stress, sleep deprivation, imagination. Then, on the 3rd night, I woke up suddenly. No alarm, no noise, just a feeling. I turned my head slowly toward the digital clock on my nightstand. 3:16 a.m. My chest tightened. The apartment was completely silent. I told myself it was over. Different building, different door, different life. The clock changed. 3:17 a.m. I held my breath. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, knock, soft, close. Not from the front door, not from the wall, but from inside my bedroom closet. 3 slow taps. And this time, it sounded like it was already inside with me.